Today in this session, we'll be discussing the topic algae under plant kingdom. Okay, let me first tell you the definition of algae. The algae are, please note down, simple, chlorophyll bearing, autotrophic, thalloid organisms. I think the meaning is clear to you. Algae are simple, chlorophyll bearing. They have chlorophyll, so they are autotrophic. They can prepare their own food. And thalloid organism. Thalloid means body is not differentiated into, the plant body is not differentiated into root, stem and leaf. Okay, so this is the meaning of thalloid or thallus, and they perform photosynthesis. They perform photosynthesis, so they are autotrophic and prepare their own food, and they do not have true root, true stem and leaves, and they do not have vascular tissue. Vascular tissue means what? Xylem and phloem. They are also known as conducting tissue. Okay, so these are absent. That's why the root, stem and leaves are not known as the true root, true leaf, true leaves. Okay, now come to the general characteristics of the algae. So, general characteristics. So, body is thallus. Very simple points I am giving you. Chlorophyll bearing, mostly aquatic. Okay, and can be unicellular, colonial or multicellular. Okay, colonial means what? Like in case of volvox, the algae are a group of algae. They form the colony and they get surrounded by a mucilaginous covering. So this is in case of volvox colony. Okay, and the cell wall is generally made up of cellulosic. Okay, and they reproduce by reproduction is vegetative, asexual and sexual. By all these three methods they can reproduce, and they produce oxygen during photosynthesis. And very important, children, they form the primary producer of aquatic ecosystem. So they are the primary producer. This point is very important. Okay, now come to the habitat of algae. As I said, they are mainly aquatic. So they are mainly found in, now come to the habitat. They are found in freshwater pond, lakes, rivers, and oceans and seas. Okay, so besides this, they are also found in moist soil, moist rock, tree trunk, damp wall. Okay, but some algae live live with the fungi. So with fungi form lichen, and on animal like slothware. Okay, so I think up to this I have discussed in my previous session. Now come to the next portion, the portion that I have not discussed in my previous session. Okay, now come to the structure of algae. Let us come to structure of algae. The body is called thallus, so it is not differentiated into root, stem, and leaf. So I am not repeating that, I am not writing that once again. Now the thallus maybe it may be unicellular, means single celled. Example, Chlamydomonas. Okay, and number 2, colonial, and here many cells join together. Example is Volvox. Okay, now the another form is filamentous. Filamentous, here the cells are arranged in long chain. Okay, as in case of Spirogyra, you might have observed that in Spirogyra they are present like this. Okay, so here suppose this is Spirogyra, so this is filamentous. Similarly, in case of colonial form, you will see that a number of algae are gathered to form a colony. Okay, and here the common examples are, as I said, Spirogyra and Elothrix. So these examples are very important, children. And the next form is your massive marine form. Besides these forms, one more form is available, that is massive marine form. So these algae are grow into huge plant like body. Example, laminaria, kelps, which grows up to 100-meter long. This is very important. Okay. Now come to the reproduction in algae. Reproduction in algae. So as I have said you, they can reproduce by 3 methods. One is vegetative, asexual, and third one is sexual. Okay. So now let us come to the first one, that is vegetative reproduction. Okay. So this vegetative reproduction, it occurs by fragmentation. You all have studied about fragmentation in class 10. Still then, let me explain you a little bit. So what is fragmentation? And in this process, the thallus, means the undifferentiated body, breaks into pieces. Okay. So suppose this is the thallus, then it breaks into pieces and each fragment develop into a complete new plant. Then each fragment develops into a complete new plant. Okay. So this is fragmentation. For example, Spirogyra. Example, Spirogyra. So these examples are very important, children. Now come to the second method, that is asexual reproduction. Okay. So as you know that asexual reproduction it takes place usually by the spores. So it occurs through spores. Okay. And most common spores are the zoospores. Zoospores. Okay. So what are the features of these zoospores? These zoospores are motile, flagellated. So because they are motile, so they must be having some locomotory organelles. So they are flagellated and they are produced inside a structure, produced inside sporangia, that is zoosporangia. Zoosporangia. Okay. And this zoospore germinates into a new plant. Okay. So suppose this is the sporangia. So from this, inside the sporangium, the zoosporangium, the zoospores are present, and when the zoospores are released, they germinate into the plant, a new plant. Now come to the sexual reproduction. Now come to sexual reproduction. Okay. So the sexual reproduction is of 3 types. Okay. 1, isogamy. So the name itself indicates that the fusing gametes because it is sexual reproduction, so always it takes place by the fusion of the gametes. So here the fusing gametes are of similar size and shape. Okay, this is very important, children. And these gametes may be motile, means they can move or they cannot move. They may have flagella or they may not have flagella. So may be non-motile. Okay, so this point is very important. So isogamy means the gametes are similar and they may be motile or non-motile. And the most common examples are Elothrix, that is they are having motile gametes, and then Spirogyra, and they are having non-motile gametes. Okay, so these examples you have to remember, children. Now come to the next type, that is second type of sexual reproduction. The first one is isogamy. Now the second one is anisogamy. Okay, so aniso means dissimilar. So the two fusion of two gametes are unequal size. So fusing gametes are of unequal size and they are motile. Okay, for example, that is eudorina. Okay, this is the example. So remember, children, an isogamy means the two gametes, the fusing gametes are dissimilar. They are not similar in size and shape and they are motile. Okay. Now the third type is oogamy. So what is oogamy? So it is the fusion of two things. One is large non-motile female gamete, which is called egg. Okay, and the other one is small motile male gamete. Okay, so here the in case of oogamy, one gamete is non-motile, whereas the other gamete is motile. So this is motile. And here the male and female gametes are differentiated. For example, volvox and fucus. Okay, so these are the different types of reproduction, different mode of reproduction that is seen in case of algae. Now we'll come to the importance of algae, the economic importance of algae, which is very, very important, children. And from here you can get a 5-mark question or a 3-mark question or even 2 marks question. Okay, so now come to the next one. Importance of algae. Okay, the first one, these algae are very, very helpful for the human mankind as well as the environment. Let me discuss one by one. The first one, they are the major producer of oxygen. Okay, because they carry out photosynthesis So during photosynthesis, the oxygen is released. That's why they produce a large amount of oxygen. And because they are aquatic, they also increase dissolved oxygen in water. Okay. So in because they are photosynthetic, so they produce oxygen during photosynthesis, and this oxygen is dissolved in the water and increases the dissolved oxygen amount in the water. Now the second one is carbon dioxide fixation. So actually during a photosynthesis, the carbon dioxide is fixed to form the carbohydrate. आपका जो photosynthesis के समय आप ग्लूकोज प्रोड्यूस होता है, पढ़े हो आप लोग. So where from this glucose comes? This glucose is formed by the कार्बन एटम कंट्रीब्यूटेड बाय द कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड जो कार्बन एटम को कंट्रीब्यूट करता है उसी से बनता है. ठीक है. सो इट हेल्प्स इन कार्बन dioxide fixation. So about nearly 50% of Earth's carbon dioxide fixation is done by algae. Okay. Now these algae, as I have already earlier said, that they are the primary producers. They are the primary producers. Okay, because they prepare food for the primary consumers, food for like fishes, aquatic insects, crustaceans like prawn, shrimp, etc. Then mollusk, the mollusca, and other aquatic animals. Okay, and the algae forms the base of aquatic food chain. Very, very important. Algae forms the base of aquatic food chain. Okay, so I'm highlighting this one. So this is how the algae act as the primary producers. Now the next one is they act as the human food. They act as the human food. So the edible algae, some edible algae are these names you have to remember, children. Porphyra, okay, and then laminaria and sargassum. Okay, and these algae, these edible algae are used, these three are used in Japan, China, Korea. So here they are used as foods. So okay, so what are the three algae? Porphyra, 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 laminaria, and sargassum. Okay, now the next use is they are used as the hydrocolloids. Hydrocolloids means water holding capacity. They have water holding capacity. And generally the brown algae, so here we'll take some examples, like the brown algae produces algin. Very important children. So ये एग्जाम्पल में पूछा जाता, एग्जाम में पूछा जाता है, algin, algin is produced by which group of algae? So it is produced by the brown algae, and this algin is used for various purposes, like preparation of ice cream, okay, and they are used in textile industries, they are used as medicines, they are used as cosmetics, and they are also used in paper industries. Okay, so these are the uses of algin, and these algin are produced by the brown algae. Okay, now so this is about the brown algae. Now come to the red algae. So the red algae produces carrageen, okay, and these carrageens are used as toothpaste, chocolates. It is used for preparation of chocolates, then dairy products, and pharmaceuticals. So they are useful in these fields. They are produced by the red algae, that is the carrageen. It is used for the preparation of toothpaste, preparation of chocolates, preparation of dairy products, and pharmaceuticals. Now the next one is agar. You might have heard about this. This is used in the microbial culture media. So they are obtained from very, very important Gelidium and Gracilaria. Very, very important, children. Okay, and they are used for used as microbial culture media. You might have heard about the tissue culture. So while doing the tissue culture, these Gelidium and Gracilaria, that is from where the agar is obtained, and this agar is used for the microbial culture. आपका बैक्टीरिया कल्चर करना है, टिश्यू कल्चर करना है, प्लांट टिश्यू, तो इसके लिए आपको अगर की ज़रूरत होती है. एंड यू विल रीड दैट इज इन इलेक्ट्रोफोरेसिस. जब इलेक्ट्रोफोरेसिस होता है तो इलेक्ट्रोफोरेसिस का जो ट्रे होता है, द मैट्रिक्स in the electrophoresis is prepared by the agar. Okay, so it is used as a microbial culture media. Then it is also used for preparation of ice creams, okay, and then jellies, and they are also used in biotechnology laboratories. As I said about the electrophoresis, so electrophoresis is a technique that comes under biotechnology. So biotechnology laboratories. Okay. Now these algae also act as protein supplement. Protein supplement. So here the example is chlorella. Okay, and this chlorella are rich in protein, and that's why they are used as a food supplement. Used as food supplement. Okay, and even used by astronauts and space travelers. Okay, so this is all about the importance of algae, their economic importance. So in the next session we'll be discussing the classification of algae. ठीक है, तो तब तक के लिए बच्चों ये आप नोट कर लो एंड ट्राई टू रिमेंबर दिस एग्जांपल्स ऑफ algae, their uses and classification. Okay, till then, bye bye, thank you.